Good morning. Good morning. I am Veronica Valdez, Vice President of Minority and Small Business Capital Programs with Enterprise Florida. Welcome to the Minority and Small Business Bootcamp 2.0. We say 2.0 because last year we did it, but this year it's bigger, it's better. As you guys know, we always go over our house rules first. On behalf of myself and Enterprise Florida, our strategic partners, SBDC, the Office of Supplier Diversity, Florida A&M School of Business and Industry, and of course, our proud sponsor, Florida Power and Light. On behalf of all of us, the first thing we want to do before we kick this thing off is thank you guys. I know that all of us have been in the middle of this Zoom matrix for over 2 years now. So I can't imagine there's anything else you'd rather be doing every other Wednesday at 9 o'clock than being on yet another Zoom webinar. So we don't take it lightly. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. If you have any questions, rule number 2, please put them in the Q&A. I will try my best, and you know I will, to pull it out of the chat. But it's so difficult because that feed is going to be on fire. Please put it in the Q&A, and it is so much easier for us to track. We want to make sure all your questions are answered. Some of us are here for the first time. Welcome to the Bootcamp family. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You might want to know, what have you missed? Well, honestly, you haven't missed much. We kicked off with session number 1 last week. It was absolutely phenomenal. If you didn't catch it, you can catch it on the Enterprise Florida YouTube channel. All of the sessions are recorded. You guys always want to know they are always recorded. IT promises me that by Friday, 12 noon, they will be on our channel. So look forward to that. Rule number 4, the lineup. 4 virtual sessions, you guys know, but I just want to remind you, 2 live sessions, 4 virtual sessions, 2 live sessions. The first live session, we are traveling to my home, Central Florida, for the Access to Capital lender speed dating. We're going to have 15 or 20 lenders in one building. You don't want to miss that. And last but not least, we always promise we bring the webinar every other week. We only ask you to do one thing. You've got to bring the energy. Now, I see we've got some people that were with us from last year, with us last week or week before last. So help the newcomers. We're going to do the roll call. We always do it. I want to know who you're repping. I live in Orlando, which is the headquarters for Enterprise Florida, but I'm born and raised in Miami. Yeah, Miami-Wade County. Yes, we are in the Eastern Conference Finals. Just clutch game number 1, shameless plug, back to the script. But nonetheless, show me who you're repping. If you're from a city, from a county, if you pledge a sorority or fraternity, I always rep Alpha Kappa Alpha, another shameless plug. If you served in the military, we want to know what branch you're in. I want to see that feed lit up. Let us know. It helps us on a serious note. We want to make sure we're covering the entire state. So if you tap in, it lets us know if there's an area that we're not giving enough attention to marketing wise. We want to make sure we step up our game. So help us, help us, help us. On a serious note, whenever I get up, I think about my why. And many of us on this call might be thinking, well, why, Veronica, why is this so important? We hear so much talk about minority and small businesses. It is like that phrase right now. But believe it or not, folks, in my opinion, this is one of the most important topics right now. Did you know that over 65% of the businesses in Florida are, guess what? Small businesses. 65% are small businesses. Small businesses are responsible for 11 million jobs throughout the United States. Large businesses, more like 6 million. So we've got twice as many small business created jobs than large business created jobs. So folks, the numbers don't lie. That lets us know why this is so important. But to bring it home, when we help a small business, and I know that sounds like a cliche phrase right now, everybody wants to help small businesses. When we help a small business, we help that owner, but more importantly, we help every person that small business owner employs. We help every family member of that small businesses. And you know what, folks? This is how families buy homes. That's the beginning of creating generational wealth. This is how families provide a safe haven. That home is a safe haven for kids. That home becomes the safe haven for the elderly statesman in the family who may need to live with a family member as they become seasoned. We help families not only own homes, but we also help families send their kids to daycare. That's the beginning of educating a child. This helps families send kids to college. This helps families connect and rejuvenate over family vacations. So at Enterprise Florida, we take this so seriously. Myself and many of my colleagues, we spend a good portion of every single day making sure that minority and small business owners around the state have the tools that are needed for success. It's just that simple. But you guys didn't tap in to hear me talk. That's just my quick spiel. What we're here to do is to kick off this session. As you know, I'm just responsible for taking the plane up and hopefully bringing the plane back down. So it gives me great pleasure to pass the baton, and you'll hear from our strategic partners, you'll hear from our sponsor, and then we'll get straight to the subject matter experts, and it's going to be a good session. So it gives me great privilege. This guy has become one of my personal friends. I have so much respect for him. Mr. Greg Britton, he's the statewide director of SBDC. You will not find a person in the state of Florida who is more passionate about helping small businesses. Mr. Britton, the floor is all yours.
Thank you so much, Veronica. Appreciate that introduction and welcome everybody on this webinar. I'm so happy. This is our second webinar of the series of Bootcamp 2.0. And we are so honored to be partnered with Enterprise Florida, Department of Management Services, Office of Supplier Diversity, FAMU, School of Business and Industry, and Florida Power and Light. The Florida Small Business Development Center is a statewide network that's dedicated to helping small businesses from Pensacola to Jacksonville to the Florida Keys. We have no cost consulting services, training, and research. Our consultants can walk you through the process of getting the certifications you're going to hear about today. And for more information, you can visit us at floridasbdc.org. And you're also going to get to hear from one of our superstars at the SBDC at USF, Janina Rosario. So I hope you have a great webinar here. And I'll tell you a little bit about my experience. When I was in manufacturing, we were a service disabled veteran-owned small business. And that opened up a lot of doors for us. It really helped us grow. And I just want to say that, you know, although you can't rely on that certification for everything, but once you get your foot in the door with that and you perform, it will take a company to another level. And I really appreciate the experts that are on the call today to help and to talk through that process and maybe what that looks like for you all. So I wish you a great webinar. And also I want to thank you so much for being a small business in the state of Florida. Thank you.
Good morning to everyone. My name is Robert Major. I am the Executive Director for the Office of Supplier Diversity for the state of Florida. And I am excited. I'm excited to be here. Enterprise Florida, thank you so much for helping to put together and unite these fabulous team. And I'm looking forward to sharing with you the Office of Supplier Diversity. And we are under the Florida Department of Management Services. And we are here to serve you, business owners. We are here to serve you in all different capacities. We're here to give you a variety of information and share with you how you can contract with the state of Florida. So I'm excited, looking forward to presenting to you and sharing some insight about contracting with the state of Florida.
always remember that the Rattlers will strike and strike and strike again.
Good morning, everyone. I bring you greetings on behalf of our president, Dr. Larry Robinson, and the whole FAMU family. I am Shantae Friday Stroud. I serve as the Dean of the School of Business and Industry at Florida A&M University. I'm also the Vice President of University Advancement, as well as the Executive Director of the FAMU Foundation. And I am so excited to be on here and to partner with our great partners, Enterprise Florida, the Florida Small Business Development Center Network, the Division of Management Services, as well as Florida Power and Light. We are so excited that you are joining us for this second boot camp. The last one was awesome and amazing. So I will say, if you were not able to be on 2 weeks ago, please, please, please go back and look at that video. I mean, I just loved it. So I would suggest that you go back and look at it, because there'll be some great nuggets that you can gather from that session. Just like I know that there will be great nuggets that you'll be able to gather from this session. So thank you so very much for joining us. And again, we are happy to partner with all of these awesome organizations to help bring you the resources that you need to help your business to not only grow and survive, but to really thrive in today's economy. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. I'm Heather Maines of Florida Power and Light. FPL is so excited to be the exclusive sponsor of the 2022 Minority and Small Business Bootcamp series, and of course, to support our incredible partners at Enterprise Florida, Florida SBDC, Office of Supplier Diversity, and FAMU. So we know that Florida's diversity is one of our greatest strengths, and that in Florida, most of our businesses are small businesses. Even more, FPL and NextEra Energy have made a commitment to increase our spend with Black-owned businesses. We proactively promote and seek opportunities to work with qualified, small, disadvantaged, women-owned, veteran-owned, and minority-owned businesses. We hope to see you throughout the entire bootcamp series, and I look forward to meeting each one of you at the upcoming in-person events. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you guys for those lovely remarks. I am privileged at this moment to bring before you all the Acting Secretary of Commerce, Mr. Mark Adler. He is committed to leading Enterprise Florida. He travels around the country, encouraging businesses to relocate and move or expand to Florida. He travels around the state of Florida, visiting with minority and small business owners to make sure that they know that we truly care. I am most proud of the fact that he is not a single Gator, he is a double Gator. We are both part of that elite sacred club. It brings me great joy and honor to bring before you Acting Secretary, Mr. Mark Adler. Secretary Adler, the floor is yours. So without further ado, we'll come back to Secretary Adler and we will move forward with our first presentation, which will come from SBDC.
Thank you, Veronica, and good morning, everyone. It's great to have you here. Today, we are talking about certification, the crash course. Congratulations on taking time to educate yourself and sharpen your skills as an entrepreneur. It's fantastic to have you in the room this morning. Next slide, please. My name is Janina Rosario, and I am an associate director with the Florida SBDC at USF. As you probably already know, the Florida SBDC network is a statewide network that provides no-cost confidential consulting to entrepreneurs throughout the entrepreneurial journey. And let me repeat the price or the cost for our services: no cost. So please make use of your SBDC resources. I am located in the Tampa Bay area, but again, we have an SBDC close to you throughout the state of Florida. I have been working with small businesses going on 21 years, and no 2 days are the same. Your experiences, your desires, they are unique because they are just you, right? And you are working very hard to build your future and that of your family, your employees, and your community. So thank you for everything that you do, entrepreneurs. Next slide, please. We are very active as a network on our social media platforms. Of course, I got to do, like Veronica said, some shameless plugs here for our region at USF. But again, the SBDC is available to you, floridasbdc.org. And then we use the multiple social media platforms to stay connected to you and provide you with additional information for you to use. Next slide. Let me show you one more thing about the SBDC. And again, we support the entrepreneur through your entrepreneurial journey, from those startup stages all the way to the growth strategies, which today's topic is part of that conversation, and all the way to the exit strategy. We want to make sure that you understand you're not alone and that you have a team of consultants that will come sit with you, understand your goals, and help plan your future steps so that we can see your business grow and succeed in the state of Florida. Next slide. I want this presentation to be interactive. So this is our first question in the morning. Please let us know what county your business is located in. And I know since you guys logged in, you've been saying, right, I've seen East Coast, West Coast, fantastic. Oh goodness. Orange, Broward, Osceola, Pasco, Leon. Great. Keep them coming. Fantastic. This is great. Thank you so much for being here this morning and for participating. I'm going to have some additional questions for you later on. Next slide. So we're here to talk about certification, right? So we've heard about this concept. What I want to become certified, or I've been told that I should consider becoming certified. So what is this? Well, certification is recognizing that a particular business is owned by a particular individual or a group of individuals that belong to a certain category. And we'll go into that in a moment. But at the end of it, it is a part of your marketing, okay? So you should consider it part of your marketing toolkit, just like you do your marketing strategies for social media, or the use of your website, or your participation with chambers of commerce or trade organizations. The certification should be part of the plan, should have a purpose, a clear purpose for you. Because just becoming certified and leaving it at that is really not going to do a whole lot for you. You have to make the certification work for you, okay? It increases your competitiveness. And I know Greg Britton, our CEO and president, alluded to it. Once you become certified and you start using that in your marketing tool, in your marketing strategies, and further developing those relationships with your clients, the certification could potentially set you apart. It can be a tiebreaker between you, a certified business, and somebody else that is not certified. Or it could mean that perhaps you have a corporation like Florida Light and Power that wants to hear from certified individuals. Well, now you get the invitation to participate because you are certified, okay? So it can certainly bring you additional benefits.
And I texted him, it's like,
also, when you are looking at the subcontracting opportunities, right? So now perhaps the project is too big for you. You're going in second or third position. Perhaps being that certified business is what gets you to the door, because now you're able to let that prime indicate to the contracting agency, we are using certified businesses, woman-owned, minority-owned, whatever the case may be. So this certification can be very, very powerful for you in many different ways. Next slide, please. Now, when we are talking about becoming certified, there are different designations that can be acquired, and it depends on which ones you qualify for. And let's see the next slide. Thank you. So you can have one or multiple of the designations that you see on the screen, but it is important, take note, there are 3 conditions that must be met. And this is if you have more than one owner. If you are it, fantastic, you're 100%, no need to worry. But if you have partners, make sure that you meet these conditions. Number 1, that the individual that is that minority by ethnicity or gender or veteran status is the majority owner. And majority is defined by 51% or more of the business. So you want to have majority ownership, but you also want to have majority management and control of the business. So it's not just saying that the female is the president, but she doesn't really work in the business. Or it's not the same, it's not just to say that the veteran owns the majority of the business, but that veteran individual is not part of the business. There has to be ownership, control, and management of the business. So make sure that you meet all of these qualifications. And as you can see, there are many designations that could be had. African American, Hispanic American, Asian American, Native American, woman, veteran, LGBT, disability, and small business enterprise. Another piece of information I'm going to give you, because we're going to start seeing it in a moment, you have to learn acronym speak. That's how I refer to it. When we see acronyms, and you have to know what these mean. I'll give you some examples in a moment. Next slide, please. So who can certify me, right? Because I gave you the different designations, but who's going to certify you? Well, you've got options. And I know today we're going to hear from our state options as well as one of the national certifying organizations. But just so you know, you have options at the federal government level, at the state government level, at the local government level, and then your national certifying organizations. They are all going to have their own certifying process. They are all going to be recognized by different individuals, and we'll come back to what I just said. And they have their requirement, the different documents that you need to provide. Though most are going to be quite similar as far as the documents that you need, some organizations are going to require a few extra documents, but that is on a case-by-case basis. Next slide, please. Big question, which certification is the right for me? Or which agency, where do I have to go to get my certification? Well, in order to answer that question, you need to be able to answer these 2 questions. Do your clients have a supplier diversity program? If so, which certifications are recognized by your clients? This is what is going to then set you in the right path to acquiring your certification and not waste time getting a good certification, but from the wrong place. Why I say that is because if you become certified at the federal level, as an example, it doesn't mean that somebody in your local county or city is going to recognize that certification. The same, if you become certified by your local county and city, it doesn't mean that it will be recognized by some larger private corporations. So you want to do your homework ahead of time so that you are strategic in the use of your time and effort moving forward. Next slide, please. At the federal level, you have 8A, WOSB, EDWOSB, HubZone, Veteran, and SDDOSB. Acronym speak, all right? So it doesn't mean that because these certifications exist, you have to go for them. Again, go back to the basic question, does my client or do my clients have supply diversity programs? If so, which certifications do they recognize? And perhaps they recognize multiple, but all you need is one of them, okay? If you want to go for more than one, that's great. But just so you know, usually you just need the one of the ones they recognize. So WOSB, EDWOSB, what that means is women-owned small business, economically disadvantaged women-owned small business. Hub zone is historically underutilized business zone, and of course, veteran, but SBDOSB, service disabled veteran-owned small business. So again, a lot of acronyms will be thrown at you from now on, particularly if you do go into government procurement. There's a lot of acronyms that you will have to deal with. So it is important that you educate yourself. Next slide, please. At the state level, you have two options. You have CBE, Certified Business Enterprise, and Robert Major will be talking to us about their program. And there's also DBE, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, which is managed by the Florida Department of Transportation. These are statewide certifications, but again, it does not mean that your local government is going to recognize it or that your private client is going to recognize it. Again, go back to basic question. Next slide, please. I know many of you participated and shared with us what county you are watching from, and that's fantastic. Check with your local municipality, your city, your county, and see if they have an Office of Supplier Diversity. This is what is going to let you know that they have their own certification process and will also inform you about the different certification designations they offer. You will most probably see WBE, Women Business Enterprise, MBE, Minority Business Enterprise, and either SBE or SLBE. That stands for Small Business Enterprise, Small Local Business Enterprise. Okay, so the first one, women, is gender. The second, minority, is by ethnicity. And the last one is by size. And the small business category is not to be missed, because I know many times we talk about becoming women-owned or becoming minority-owned, but there's also this small-owned category, which is based on a combination of number of employees and sales, and it will vary from agency to agency. But it is also an important designation to be had if you qualify. Next slide. Now, national. And we are very fortunate to have the Florida representative for WBE here, but there are several national organizations that certify businesses either by gender, women, by ethnicity, minority, and also we have organizations that certify for LGBT-owned businesses and those businesses owned by people with disability. So it is growing, the number of designations is growing to recognize how diverse our entrepreneurial ecosystem is. Now, I have a little asterisk on the screen, as you can see, because the certifications issued by government agencies, federal, state, and local, those do not have a fee or a cost associated with them. It's your time and effort. But those issued by national organizations do have a fee, not because they're just certifying you and you have to pay for the certification. It's because now you belong to these organizations and they do so much more. So I will let Joanna tell you more about how they support their members, their certified members in these organizations. So this is very, very broad. We don't have time to go into great detail, but I'm going to give you a few more pointers this morning. Next slide, please. So get into the chat. Is certification for you? Yes or no? Let us know really quick. Seeing a lot of yeses coming through. Fantastic. Beautiful. Great. Thank you so much for participating. Well, I'm glad that you are still moving forward with certification. Again, folks like me are here to support you in this process. Next slide, please. Now, here's a tricky one. So which one? And for this one, you can just use the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 for federal, 2 for state, 3 for county or city, 4 for national certification, or 5, all of the above. And I always see a lot of overachievers with this question. All right, fantastic. Great, thank you. Keep them coming, keep your answers coming. This is great. Like I mentioned, a lot of the documents are going to be the same for the different agencies. So time and effort, once you put your first package together, it is going to make it easier to apply with other agencies. One great thing is that most agencies are online, meaning the process is done online. You're going to be uploading documents, no more printing and mailing and or faxing of information. So if you are not in the cloud yet with documents like depository places, you may want to start looking into that, because that will make it very easy to move documents. Besides, it's a good backup plan in case your computer crashes. You have your documents available at any time. Next slide, please. So let me give you some tips, and we'll open it up for some questions in a moment. Again, I've been talking to you about becoming certified, the different options, again, keeping it very high level. But like I said at the beginning, if you become certified and you do nothing else, it is not going to work for you, okay? So it is important that you have a list of your target market, who you want to do business with, or who are you currently doing business with. And based on this list, look for their Office of Supply Diversity. It's usually part of their purchasing department. You may find it under their purchasing website, or there may be a separate landing page for the Office of Supply Diversity for your target market. Understand how they speak. Understand how they refer to themselves and what they do, because when you go and reach out to them, you want to come across as somebody that has done the homework. If you go in and say, yeah, do you buy pencils? You just lost that opportunity. It is very different from saying, I have been looking at your website and reviewing the multiple opportunities you have published, and I see that every quarter you purchase pencils. I want to tell you how I can make that process better for you and the quality of the pencils that I offer. Very different. No homework with homework. And again, you want to come across as somebody that understands the market. Go to their websites and register as a vendor. So you always have to register as a vendor with whomever you want to do business with. Okay, certification is a separate activity. Vendor, you have to show up in their vendor database. And then request an appointment either with their small business liaison, their supply diversity manager, supply diversity representative, vendor relations individual. There might be different names to this position, but it is that person that you can connect with, that you can then present yourself, your business, your products, your services. And it is important for them to understand you and what you do, because they then become your champion and connect you with the purchasing agents. These are the ones that actually do the acquiring, the purchasing of the product or service that you offer. Next slide, please. From there, continuously check their website for opportunities, for maybe some special events. You want to develop that network and those relationships, not just with the target market, but also look around who else is in the room. Who could you partner with and be able to offer a stronger proposal in the future? Update your profile regularly, particularly if you are adding or eliminating a product or service from your offering. The worst thing that can happen is that you are registered to, let's say, to sell pencils, and you no longer sell pencils, and all of a sudden you're getting the call for a quote to offer pencils, but you're no longer in that kind of business. Keep your profile update at all times. Be consistent in developing those relationships and keeping purchasing agents informed and educated about you and what you're doing. Perhaps you increase your capacity and now you're able to do more. Again, is that networking and that relationship building that I have mentioned several times. And then use every networking opportunity to introduce yourself. I know many of you at the very, very beginning of today's webinar, you put your name and your contact information and you said what you do. You are not missing a beat. Keep them going, because even in this virtual world, we still need to network and make connections. And lastly, follow up to every meeting. Even if nothing happened, you just say, thank you for your time. Acknowledge that they gave you of their busy schedule and educated you a little bit more. With that, a couple more slides from me, please. Just want to introduce you to my team, my certification team here at the Florida SBDC at USF. Simply Sasu to the left of my picture and Greg Manning to the right of my picture. All of us are here to support you through the certification process. But as I mentioned, as a network, as an SBDC network, there are teams like mine throughout the state here to provide you with support throughout the certification process, review your documents, make sure that we answer any questions you may have, so that when you upload, you're uploading once and not having to go back and forth in your process, as well as support you with other areas. It'd be marketing, financing, and many more. And the very last slide for me, please. Stay connected with the SBDC. Our website here in Tampa Bay is sbdctampabay.com, and our statewide website is floridasbdc.org. So Veronica, with that, if there are any questions that we should address, this is the time.
Thank you, Janina. Masterful job. I do notice in the Q&A, there are a few questions. Mr. David Nash wants to know, what about Brazilian Americans? They are not considered Hispanic according to the census designations, but they are considered Latino. Do they qualify as a minority-owned business?
I will have to research a little bit more about that, because the designation for Hispanic is very much driven by the location where either you, a parent, or a grandparent was born. So we would have to look into that lineage or that heritage for you and see if any of the potential countries fall within the recognized countries for the certification.
Okay, thank you. So Mr. Nash, feel free to follow up directly with Janina. I think you provided your email address.
If not, we can put it in the chat and make it available.
Okay, fantastic, fantastic, thank you. Is it possible to get these certifications if you have a virtual office? I know you have a county business license, but what about businesses without a physical location?
Most definitely. Your location is home, and that's perfectly fine. As long as you are in a location that allows for that, of course. The certification, other than hub zone, is not really driven by where you are located. So it could be from home in a virtual setting. Again, we're looking at who owns, controls, and manages the business. And if there are any licenses, this is a good reminder. If there are any licenses, if you are in an industry not restricted industry, I should say, that requires licensing, general contractors, electricians, doctors, depending on the agency, again, there's a lot of zigzagging here. Depending on the agency, you as the owner may also be required to hold that license, okay? It will depend on the agency, but just wanted to make sure that I said that this morning.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Janina. Moving right along, Sharma Jones. She says, I am a WBE, MBE business. I am going to each county government as a vendor, being certified as a vendor. Is that the proper process? How do I get my business out there efficiently?
Oh, goodness. I think it's best if you make an appointment with your local SBDC and talk about it to really go into great length. Because I always want our entrepreneurs to be strategic in their timing, in the use of their time, because time is money, and we need to make sure that it has a good return on the investment for you. You may need to register as a vendor with the counties in your region. If you want to be known as a certified business, then you have to check and see if your county or any of the counties around your area have an Office of Supplier Diversity. If they do they recognize your one certification, or do you now have to have multiple certifications? Okay, I'll use my area as an example. Hillsborough County has its own certification process and its own designations. Pinellas County has its own process as well, but these are not transferable. Okay, so if I wanted to do business both in Hillsborough and Pinellas, I would have to get certified with both counties. On the contrary, if I wanted to do business with Hillsborough County and Polk County recognizes Hillsborough's certification. So I don't have to do a new certification. So that is the kind of research that I want you to do before you go out there and start knocking on doors, if you want to use your certification as part of your marketing strategies.
Fantastic. Last question or two. What happens if you change counties? I think you pretty much addressed that.
If it is a move, again, some counties have designations that are open to businesses in multiple counties, but other designations are very much for businesses located in those counties. Particularly if you hear small, again, for the majority of time, it's not an absolute. The majority of time, the small designation is for for businesses located in that particular county. Case by case, county by county, city by city, no blanket statement can be made about certification other than it is your business. It is an option for you to have as part of your marketing toolkit. We wish you the best, and we look forward to helping you grow and succeed.
Thank you so much. Masterful job, Janina. Really appreciate it. We will move right along to Mr. Robert Major with the Office of Supplier Diversity.
Good morning, everyone. Veronica, I'm going to ask if you no longer put me behind Janina, because Janina, she did an excellent job. And the amount of detail is excellent. Definitely contacted your local SBDC. They have a wealth of information. A lot of vendors, a lot of times they will be in the middle of procuring. I would ask if you would be proactive and do the research. And we're going to go through a couple of things. But right now, if you can, if you're a business owner, I'm going to ask you in the chat, put your business name in the chat, all business owners. Or even if you're representing a business, put it in the chat right now. Let's take a look and see, because this is a networking opportunity for you. That way we can see everybody. Awesome. Wow, we got a lot of businesses. I was going to try to name some of them, but they're moving a little too fast. Wow, awesome, awesome. Well, if you're a business owner, I want to first of all tell you thank you so much. Like Veronica said, the small businesses in the state of Florida, according to the U.S. Small Business Administration, they say that according to studies, over 41%, I said over 41% of Florida employees are through small businesses. So without a doubt, you all are the backbone, the foundation to our local communities, our local, and as well as our state of Florida, but I would say worldwide. You all are our backbone. You all make it happen, and we want to applaud you and thank you so much for everything you do. We have a lot of fabulous businesses here, and hopefully, I won't put you to sleep, but we're going to talk about certifications. I want to come from a different angle, because at first I was going to come through what it takes. We're gonna address some of those things, but I think first of all, let's take a look at what is certification overall. You know, everybody say certification, certification, certification. So let's talk about first disparities. Okay, so it may be a city, a county, school district, could be airports, could be the state, it could be federal programs. At one time, there was a study that was conducted, and they take a look at those studies, and then they see where there may be some disparities in those communities or the contracting piece. Everything is centered around procurement. So during those times, they take a look at that and then they come up with results. It may be in certain counties or certain school districts. The focal point may be the Hispanic community. It may be the African American community. It may be a women-owned business, maybe veteran-owned business. It could be a variety of different things. So those certifications are centered around meeting those objectives. So I want to clear the air as far as why are there so many different certifications is because different studies have been conducted and they have found where there were different disparities in those communities. So therefore, a lot of times you have to learn your community or find your target market. I think Janina said it perfectly when she says, narrow down. You got to somehow be focused and try to find some entities that you want to pursue. So if you want to pursue contracting with the state of Florida, I would first of all say your first thing you want to do is be registered. And I'm going to put some links in the chat, okay? I'm going to first of all give you my information. And my name is Robert Major. If you wasn't here in the beginning through the introduction, I am the Executive Director for the Office of Supply Diversity. And what we do, we certify our minority, veteran, and women-owned businesses. As of course, we use acronyms, we call them CBEs, Certified Business Enterprises. That's one of our first steps. But I'm going to send to you in the chat real quick a link that's going to be great. If you're not, how many people by show of hands are contracted or registered with the state of Florida? Raise your hands if you're registered with the state of Florida. Registered to do business with the state of Florida. Okay, I see Daisy. Natalie, okay. Awesome. Now I'm going to give you a link right here. In the chat, I'm putting it in the chat. That link right there is the beginning of contracting with the state of Florida. Like anything else, we all have to be registered. So you as a vendor, you have to be registered to do business in the state of Florida. That's the first step. And as you go through that registration process, you'll see where would you like to be certified. You want to click on that link. And if you're already registered with the state of Florida, you want to take a look at your profile file. And there should be a demographic piece where you want to put in your information. So I see quite a few people. Okay, I am. Excellent. So we need more businesses to register with the state of Florida. So if you can, use that link and make sure you register. So today we're going to talk about some terms that are unique to contract, because a lot of times you hear all these acronyms and you hear all these terms. You have to understand the language. You have to understand some of these terms. Some of these terms can be quite confusing. So hopefully we can learn a few things and address some of these terms. Procurement is a different method. Anytime you're utilizing public dollars, you just can't just go out and spend money how you want to really spend money. There are rules to engagement. If you ever want to just kind of go to sleep, or you want to do some good studies and understand how the state of government procurement, what we call our Bible is the Florida Statute 287. So you can easily Google Florida Statute 287. It's great material to kind of go to sleep, but that's where our guidelines kind of come from. So let's talk about some unique terms. Have you ever went to a site, whether city, county, and you see something called an ITB or invitation to bid? If you ever seen that, do you understand what that means? So an invitation to bid, that means I know what size widget, what color, what size, what weight, everything. And it's mainly based on pricing. We already know what we want to procure. We already know the size. We know exactly what we want. Then you also have a request for proposal, or RFP. That means we kind of know what we want, but we're looking for those agency to specifically define the scopes of service on the deliverables. So that way we're looking for best value and we're looking for pricing as well. And it could be timeless, it could be time, it could be a special commodity, it could be a special service. And it could be the capabilities of that vendor. So whenever you see a RFP, that's going to tell you, okay, what we're going to do. And what does that mean to you as a contractor, as a vendor? When you see a ITB, you know you need to come strong and hard with your delivery times and your pricing. When you see RFP, you know you need to come a lot with your capabilities. You need to come with great, of course, great service, but you need to define and look at the scope of work, really focus on the scope of work. Then you have an ITN. That's kind of like, okay, we know what we want as a state agency. We know what we want, but we're not quite sure how to get there. So now that's the time for you as a vendor. You need to bring your A game, show your accreditation, show your skill set, show your business strength on how you can help the state to achieve that procurement. So an invitation to negotiate, that means there are going to be some negotiating some terms, negotiating some services. And we're looking for your expertise as a vendor connected to the vendor community to meet those needs. Then you'll see a thing what we use in our VBS called an e-quote. An e-quote means we have a quote, you register for e-quote, you sign up for e-quote, and based on your commodity codes, and I'm going to go through the commodity codes, that is so important. So commodity codes, when you register with My Florida Marketplace, as you fill out your information, you fill out all your pertinent information. You're going to do your username, your password, your general business information, your contact information. You're going to select whether you want to be certified as far as a certified business enterprise. You're going to do your business location, and the magical thing that's going to connect you is commodity codes. Commodity codes are so vital for you as a vendor, because how do we know that you're there? For example, if I was looking for a janitorial service, and I was looking for a janitorial service, just say in Orlando, I can go into the system and I can, every service and every commodity is connected to a commodity code. Those commodity codes are the way that we can search and find registered vendor in our system to locate those vendors. So when we send out a quote or when we send out a bid, we connect it with the commodity codes. So if you're registered, I saw a lot of people say they're registered. I would encourage you at this time to please check your commodity codes. Check your commodity codes. And another thing, let's see. I'm going to send you a link real quick. This is a link to our vendor bid system. Our vendor bid system is a procurement system where anything that's higher than $35,000 or more. So let's talk about thresholds. Thresholds. You have category 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, understand that category 1, 1,500 or less, that means we can kind of select who we want. We always suggest that procurement try to do 2 to 3 quotes. But if you can't do 2 or 3 quotes, you can go directly to that vendor and buy. That's anything under $15, 1,500 or less. Anything higher than that, all the way up to $34,999.99. That's category 2, that's category 2, where when we select that, we have to have 2 to 3 quotes. Anything that's higher than 35,000 or more, we have to put it on VBS, the vendor bid system. So it has to be fully publicly procured. And that link that I sent to you, that will be, wait a minute, did y'all get a link? I don't think that link came through. Hold on for 1 second. That particular link, okay, I put it back in the chat. That link that I sent you, that is where you see all the procurement, the public procurements. Now I'm going to give you another, if you ever have any problems with commodity codes, you have any questions whatsoever, My Florida Marketplace has an awesome team that is there to help you. I just put in the chat a telephone number that you can reach out to and find if you need any help with commodity codes, with registration. They are there to help. And their hours are typically from Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I would encourage you, if you're having any difficulty in trying to navigate through the My Florida Marketplace or get registered, please utilize that telephone number, and that'll be, I guarantee you won't be disappointed. Now let's talk about why. What's so important about certification? Why should I get certified? So what we do, the Office of Supply Diversity, we give you first tier referrals. And what does that mean? So we send out targeted information. We don't just share with you state procurement. We also network with universities, cities, counties, water districts. We network with a variety, and we'll send out targeted information to you, and we post it on our website as well, based on your commodity codes. So you get additional first tier referrals. You also get a listing in our directory. We have an online directory. If you go to our OSD site, I'm going to send it to you. I'm going to put it back in the link again, our OSD website. If once you become registered, once you become certified, cities and counties now can go and locate your business. They can do a search and find your particular business. So if we had someone in Miami-Dade that was looking for a vendor, they're looking for a woman-owned, minority-owned business, they can definitely go through that website and locate your business. And then we also have events like this beautiful event. We will share with you and send out notifications about events like this throughout the whole entire state. A lot of events we host ourselves. We have exchanges, as well as we have networking opportunities. And we also work and provide technical assistance as well. So it is value in becoming certified. And then some cities and counties, they are looking for, whether it's minority, veteran, or women-owned businesses. So some of those, they have incentives, they have goals. We don't have anything for set asides, but what we do, we do report, every state agency reports on an annual basis their spend, and that's sent all the way to our governor's office. So who do we certify? We certify women, veteran, and minority. Now, like I said, you will find as you navigate throughout the state, there's other certifications, but the state of Florida, we certify women and veteran minority. And what are the requirements? One, you have to be registered in My Florida Marketplace. That's the first step. You have to be 51% owned and managed by women or veteran or minority. You have to be a permanent resident for the state of Florida. Your net worth has to be less than 5 million, fewer than 200 employees. Your business must be domiciled, primarily ran in the state of Florida. You can have satellite offices, but your main business must be conducted in the state of Florida. You must be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident alien. So those are the different steps. If you can check all of those boxes, I would encourage you to please reach out to our Office of Supply Diversity, and we can walk you through the whole process. Right now, we have this new system that is amazing. No longer do you have to go and fax or mail in documents. You can go from the convenience of your own office, and you can upload all of your information. So let's talk about some other strategies as business owners. Let's talk about market research, first of all. If you can, go in Google and Google D as in Derek, F as in Frank, S as in Sam, FACTS. That's DFS facts. So if you want to know what the state is buying, you want to align your business with what the state is procuring. That's a great market research tool. You can look at by commodity description. You can look at, if you know your competitors, you can go and key in one of your competitors' name under the vendor column. If you're looking at a specific agency, you can go to that specific agency and you can run queries, and you can also download that information. You can see a lot of valuable information. You can see what the state is buying, what amounts they're buying, who they're conducting business with, and you can also see the price points. So this is a very valuable tool to do your market research. Things like this, you will get to attend workshops, you'll get to attend a lot of different things so you can absorb and get a lot of this information, because there's a lot of information out there and it can be quite overwhelming. But what we're here to do, we're here to help you as a small business and help walk you through the process. And even though all the information is out there, but it's spread out in so many different ways, it can be quite overwhelming. So we're here to help in any kind of possible way we can. And at this time, if you have any questions, I'll be more than willing to address them. I'm going to put my contact information again in the chat. So if by any reasons you may need to contact our office, please do so. We got a fabulous team that's here to work with you and to serve in any kind of capacity. So questions? By any chance, Veronica, did you see any questions?
I see one question in the Q&A. It's fairly long. Are you able to see the Q&A section?
Let's see, let's see.
What is the best tactic to get in front of the big guys like Amazon, Tesla, Blue Origin, Publix, not as a subcontractor, but as a prime?
We get that quite often. That's an excellent question. Let me ask you a question. You have to, first of all, examine your business. You have to really, truly take a look at your business. A lot of vendors, they think they're ready, but let me ask you a question. Have you taken the steps to work your way up to that level? Because when you get in these contracts, these terms in these contracts, do you have a legal team? Do you have a finance team? Do you have an accounting team? You got to make sure that before you sign that dotted line, before you go and you bid on some of these procurements, you have to satisfy demand. If you're selling products, can you get those products on the spur? If you did market research and just say your business increased, can you take it to that next level? It's a lot of different things. I would definitely recommend that you first start with your SBDC. That is a great resource. That is a great tool. And once again, it's free. Just like our certification is free as well. So I would start there and try to set up an appointment, and then they will take a look and analyze your business, and they'll take a good look at your business, and then they'll help you with a business plan as well. Let's see, I see that one.
Does this certification apply to the food and beverage industry?
Yes, it does. If you think about the state of Florida, a lot of people, when they think about the state, they just think about pushing paper. They don't think about DOC, Department of Corrections, Department of Juvenile Justice. You got to think about Department of Agriculture. You got to think about a lot of different things. We have hospitals, we have correction facilities throughout the state, and they house people. So yes, we do.
Last and final question, what are the best strategies to acquire properties for businesses, for example, assisted living?
That one, I'm not sure if I can answer that one for assisted living, because what we focus on is primarily contracting with the state. So I'm not sure if I can answer that. Maybe someone from SBDC could provide some resource for that. Yes, someone asked, does this apply to business who do training? Yes. We have employees, we have a wealth of employees, and they definitely require training, all types of training, development, staff development, HR training, a lot of training. So yes. For my Florida Marketplace CBE registration, we have to provide the company's net worth. Is it best to use our current numbers or the numbers from the last tax? Anything that you could justify, I would go to the last numbers that you can justify. So your last tax documents.
All righty, Mr. Robert Major, you never disappoint, and today was no different. We thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we will move forward with Ms. Joanna Sanchez.
Good morning, everyone. I know that I am the third person going up for the presentation. So while I'm getting my screen ready, go ahead and stand up, take some deep breaths. As a former teacher and mom of 3 boys, I know that sitting for long periods of time is not fun. So go ahead and take this opportunity now to get a quick break. Okay. Here, okay. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Great. Okay. So today we're going to talk about the importance of certifying and connecting women-owned businesses. And I noticed that we did have a couple of women-owned businesses in the house. So go ahead, and if you are certified, type WBEC so that I know. I saw a familiar business name come up, and I saw some familiar names. So go ahead and share in the chat if you are certified. This presentation is going to be helpful if you are certified, because I'm going to talk about like the benefits of being certified. So my name is Joanna Sanchez, and I'm the WBEC Florida Marketing and Outreach Director. WBEC Florida is a regional partner to WBEC, and there are 14 regional partners, and WBEC is the largest certifier of women-owned businesses in the United States, and it's a leading advocate for women business owners and entrepreneurs. So through our affiliate with WBEC, we provide the certification for women-owned businesses in the Florida region. And it is our mission to certify, champion, and connect women business owners. So getting to know you, go ahead and in the chat, like tell me what industry your business is. And then, so put your name, the name of your business, and then the industry. Okay, so here are the topics we're going to cover. What is the WBEC certification? Why should I get certified? What are the benefits? How do I get started? And then how to stay connected with us. So you've been hearing a lot about supplier diversity, and let's talk about the history briefly about supplier diversity. It started in the 1950s, and it was a way for corporations to prove to the federal government, because it had become a federal mandate, that they were working with diverse suppliers. So these businesses are promoting that they are doing businesses with diverse company. And so with a certification that proves that you are indeed a diverse company. And so the other thing is that we know, and we've heard about like good corporate citizens and doing the right thing. This is a way for corporations to do their part and do their share by helping out small businesses. And so interestingly enough, with supplier diversity, it's really all about leveling the playing field. And what I'm going to share with you in these next slides are a few of the corporations that honor the WBEC certification. So you can kind of see, depending on what industry you're in, you can take a look at all of the different corporations that honor the women-owned certification. So Airmark, Brassfield and Gorey is a big one currently. Dick's Sporting Good, Duke Energy, CHEP. Okay. So you've heard a lot about the different types of certification, and that they are recognized at different levels. So Janina did a great job going over the different types of certification. We always like to promote that having more than one certification is going to help your business. It checks off more than one box. And so when these corporations and government entities are working with you, the more boxes they check off, the better it is for them. So the WBEC certification, in order to get this, you have to be 51% or more. You have to be 51% owner of the business, or if there's like 3 people in the business, you have 2 that are women, and then that would make more than 51%. So they have to operate, manage, and control the company. And let's see here, women-owned business. There is a formal process to getting certified. I'll go into more detail about that. And there are, corporations and government entities that are actively, they reach out to us and ask us for specific industries. If they're looking for women in construction, we send them lists, etc. So there are more opportunities than just slapping that certification up on your wall. We like to say that you got to do the work. So getting certified is one thing, but there are different things that you can do once you're part of our organization. And one thing is you have access to what's called WBE Link. And on WBE Link, it's this database. So you could type in any of those corporations that were listed, and you can type in, let's say, Duke Energy, and you wanted to find out who the supplier diversity representative is from Duke Energy, then you could go onto WBE Link and find their contact information in there. And on the other side, corporations use WBE Link also if they're doing like a vendor search. So it works two ways. And you have a lot of access to networking opportunities being certified with WBE at a national level and like at a local level. So we're all about relationship building. A lot of our women actually do business with each other. They have formed strategic partners and work very well with each other, or they're keeping an eye out for one another. And we also have, with WBE, you have what's called vendor open houses. And really what that is a lot of our sponsors and partners will, like for example, Moffitt has one coming up, and they're going to share the do's and don'ts of doing business with them. And they'll have either like a virtual or in-person meeting, and you get to kind of meet who else does business with them. And that's a way for you to start building strategic alliances or building relationships through those vendor open houses. And a lot of times you get invited because you are certified. At another way to network that we do at WBEC Florida is through procurement roundtables. And what this means is when we have like larger regional events that we have our sponsors and partners that attend, and they'll speak on a panel and share tips and tricks of using their database, kind of like what Janina was talking about. Each corporation has their own database that you have to be signed into. And when you attend one of our events with the sponsors and partners speaking, sometimes they give even more information, like an email address of a person who you should, once you've uploaded your information in the database, then you would contact, XY person. And so they're at the event, they're sharing, that information. And then after the panel, we have roundtables in the back, and each sponsor gets their own roundtable. And it's kind of like a mini networking session where each woman gets 30 to 60 seconds to pitch. And a lot of times we recommend that our women business owners come ready with their capability statement, their game face on, because they're beginning to build relationships with the supplier diversity representatives. Matchmaker meetings, those are done at the national level currently. At the WBEC conference coming up June 6th through the 10th, you'll find a lot of these sponsors and partners nationally will be there, and they're going to have matchmaker tickets. And so you never know when you're going to run into one of them, but they will pass you like a ticket. And so that's the way they're doing the matchmaker meetings this year. Let's see, resources. So yeah, we have a lot of resources to tap into. WBEC holds a lot of educational programming, and they partner up with corporations like Target. They partnered up with Target recently to share how to get your product into their store, and are you able to handle the supply that they want? The amount of products, do you have the products? Are you able to wait 3 months before you're getting paid? those are the type of things that you kind of need to think about when you're, wanting to work with these larger corporations. There's also scholarship opportunities and marketing. There are several pitch competitions that were held during COVID, which was a great way to get your name out about your business and what you do. And it came with cash prize offers as well. So that was nice. So I guess I'm going to pause right here to see if anyone has any questions so far. I haven't dug deep yet. Okay. So this question is probably what you're thinking is, should I even get certified with a WBEC certification? So these are some questions to think about. Is your product or service targeted at corporations, retail, and or government agencies? So a lot of like the, cookie making businesses, so you have to think like, are you wanting your product to be in a larger retail store? Or so that's what you kind of have to think about. Does your business have the capacity to provide quality service and our products on larger contracts? Are you willing to share details of your business, including capital investment, tax returns, and compensation records? So the process for certification requires several documents, and I'll talk about that briefly. And then, are you clear that the WBE certification is a marketing tool and it doesn't guarantee that your company will receive these actual contracts? And the women-owned logo, I'm sure if you've seen that at Target or Walmart, the women-owned logo is used on, I actually have one right here. It's used on, I don't know if you can see this, but it says women-owned on the back of this notebook that I found at the dollar store. And so that's like a way to use marketing, to use it as a marketing tool. You can have it on your email signature. You should have it on your website, showing and being proud that you are woman-owned. So the certification process, these are like the three main steps. You apply online at webanklink.org, and then you have supporting documents that you'll want to gather, and then you have a site visit. So the online application is pretty time consuming, but if you gather everything, like I said, it should go pretty smoothly. But so you'll have your name, contact information. These are the main things I kind of wanted to talk about. Business code. So that's the North American Industry Code System, the NAICS codes. We recommend that our WBEs update this quite regularly because, especially during COVID, there was a time when women businesses started pivoting and were able to provide the PPE products. And so we recommended that they went in and changed their codes, because a lot of times the corporations are actually just looking through that code when they're doing their search. So you want to put as many business codes as your company can really handle. References. It'll just be their contact info, that no letter is needed. And then the ownership information, again, is the 51%. You have to prove that through either investment, stock certificates, or proof of investments. And it's also a good bargaining tool. Like if you're, if you're partnering up with somebody and you can say, hey, if I'm 51% owned, we can get certified, and it'll open a lot of doors. So these are some of the supporting documents that are required. And when you are applying to get certified with a WBEC certification, we are now also helping women to get certified with the WOSB certification. So you can actually do both at the same time. And Lisa Roblejo is we call her our certification queen, because she knows the details about everything that is needed. And as you are going through the process, if there's any questions, she's really good about emailing you. And then as long as you email her back quickly, the process will take a shorter amount of time. So site visit procedures, if you noticed, I chose these pictures on purpose because there's a woman at home who's working in her kitchen, drinking her coffee, and then you have the brick and mortar, and another woman who is seems like she's out in a work share space. So you don't have to have a brick and mortar in order to get certified. Recently, because of COVID, we started doing virtual site visits where we ask our women business owners to just pan their office or take us on a tour with their phone. And that's been working out quite well. And the site visit is usually about an hour, and we just ask general questions like history of the business, the day-to-day operations, questions like that. And then the certification that is valid for 1 year. And like Janina was saying, there is a fee for the certification. And when you go to renew, though, you don't have to submit as many of the documents as you did when you first got certified. So the recertification process is a lot easier. And the processing fee will be based on your company's revenues. So do we have, I see we have a couple questions. Is WBEC a nonprofit trade association? Why separate from WSB? Is this targeting primarily private sector clients for these certified businesses? So WBEC Florida is a nonprofit. I don't know what you mean by why separate from WOSB, Margie. So feel free to email me later about this, but it's basically because our process is so formal and we really weed out the fraud. We were asked to also take on doing the WOSB certification. So we have Kristen Corbin. Is the cost a one-time fee or annually? So I just answered that. That's annually. Anetta Wilson, if you're a solo entrepreneur with no bylaws, is WBEC for you? So we always say that you can create the bylaws, like you should, have your meetings and write those down. And even if it's a meeting with just yourself, just document that. That just because you don't have bylaws doesn't mean you cannot get certified, if that makes sense. And then let me see on time. So a few success stories I wanted to share with you. We have a WBE who actually won the pitch competition, and through winning this pitch competition, she has made so many relationships with not only WBEs, but with executives from corporations. And she went on to do a lot of the executive training. And during COVID, she was able to pivot to actually sell a lot of the PPE products. And just by simply, doing the pitch competition for WBEC. So you never really know where what you participate and what you do, where it takes you. So I always like to share that story. And then the other one, so we have cups and straws for the Super Bowl. So this WBE, so Janina talks about the importance of doing your research and doing your homework. Well, that is very, very true. And this is a case that I can share that this woman, she sold she sells bamboo straws, and she was trying to get in with Disney. And Disney is one of our local sponsors in the area because they're in Orlando, and which is in Florida, obviously. And so they participate in a lot of our events. And so she met the supplier diversity representative from Disney at one of our events. And, it wasn't the first time that she met him that the relationship was guaranteed a contract. It took several years, like follow up emails, and you just don't know when there's the need for the cups and the straws at that time. But what she actually did was she visited all of the theme parks and gathered their straws, and then she had her straws. And so in her next meeting that she had, she compared all the straws and was sharing why her straw was actually the better one. And so that was just a story to share that the contracting may take time, and you have to kind of be creative. And we also at WBEC Florida, we're all about promoting and getting women ready for these meetings. We talk a lot about capability statements, what that looks like, what do you need to have on your capability statement. We talk a lot about relationship building and how not to be a bother to some of the supplier diversity representatives, because they do get inundated with emails. And so it's all about like this fine line of being persistent yet not annoying, I guess. So the other thing, and this other company repairs roofs, and she actually met a supplier diversity representative in the taxi car at a conference, and she was striking up a conversation, and turns out that they ended up doing business together, and it all happened like in a taxi cab, and she was at the right place at the right time, and it was at the WBEC conference. And so there are so many more success stories that I could really go on and on about. But really, we are all about championing and connecting women business owners, because it's more than just a certification. And so let's see if we have any other questions at this time. I think I see you there. So the topics that we discussed today, we talked about the WBEC certification, how do I get certified, the process of certification, a few success stories. And to stay connected, my name is Joanna Sanchez, and this is my email address, joannasanchez@webecflorida.org. And then our website is here at the bottom, webecflorida.org. If you're interested in staying connected. We have an event coming up in Orlando. It's called the Orlando Opportunities Event, and you'll see that on our website. And that's where we'll have the sponsors and partners there going over the do's and don'ts of doing business with women business owners, and then the procurement roundtables in the back. So if you are around or interested, we'd love to have you there. And that is it for me here, Veronica.
Thank you so much, Joanna. I appreciate it. And we applaud you and celebrate you for your commitment to women business owners around the state.
Thank you. Thank you, Veronica. Thanks so much for having us today.
Absolutely. With no further ado, you guys know it. Chambers are really the lifeline to minority and small businesses around the state. We encourage each of you to get engaged with the chamber. It doesn't matter what chamber, but the resources that they have available to business owners around the state are unmatched. So we certainly celebrate them. We are proud to have 35 resource partners around the state. Many of them are chambers of commerce, minority chambers of commerce. So we always appreciate you guys' commitment to helping businesses around the state as well. So with that said, we highlight a minority chamber every boot camp session, and today will be no different. Last time we went to the highest of 7 hills. This week we come back down to the Central Florida area to Polk County. Many of you know Polk County as it is that county that's nestled between Tampa and Orlando. It is the home of the Fortune 500 company where shopping is a pleasure, Publix. But what I just recently found out is that Polk County is the fastest growing county in the state of Florida. Hear me, folks, the fastest growing county in the state of Florida. It is the 7th fastest growing county in the entire country. I paused because that really caught me by surprise. Also, Polk County is made up of 27%, approximately 27% of the population is Hispanic. So we are determined to spend a lot of time in Polk County, and we want to share. We applaud them, we celebrate them for the great work that they are doing. I had the opportunity to meet Madam President Ana Rivera of the Puerto Rican Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of Polk County. She is one of the most passionate people that I know, and I consider her to be one of the champions in the state of Florida for small businesses. So with that said, Madam President, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for having me, Veronica. It's a pleasure to be here amongst so many wonderful people. I mean, I applaud you all for all the good work that you're doing throughout the state. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I had the pleasure of meeting Veronica at our Galleon Awards. That's our annual Chamber Member Awards, and it was held at Southeastern University. The Puerto Rican Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of Polk County is celebrating its 15th year. And we kicked off in 2007 when we were told that we did not need another Chamber of Commerce in this area, that we can take care of everyone. But everyone is not everyone, if that makes any sense. We all have our certain nuances and the way we do business. And our mantra is community, culture, and commerce. So if you notice that we first put community as our #1 factor in our mission, we want to address going into the community and meeting the community, seeing what the community needs, whether it's Anglo, African-American, Hispanic, Asian. We need to know about these different communities so that we can integrate and we can help build businesses together. Then comes culture. A lot of people, when they say, oh, when they met me, they said, oh, you're married to a Spanish-speaking person? I'm like, yeah, he's Cuban and I'm Spanish-speaking, I'm Puerto Rican. And so the part of the culture is introducing those who are not too well, versed in knowing why a Colombian says something a different way versus a Mexican says it a different way versus an Ecuadorian or a Puerto Rican or a Dominican. We all do business, but we tend to do business culturally different. And then comes the commerce, where I would help my members with all different things from why did you select this location? What did the realtor promise you? And how to start up your business, how to do, how to take care of ribbon cuttings and building relationships with local government and all sorts of other information. In the 15 years that we have existed, we've been able to help at least 70% of our members to grow. And if you come to Polk County right now, let's take Lakeland, which is the #1 city, and then you go into Haines City and then Winter Haven. When you go into Lakeland, you're going to see probably in every corner a Hispanic restaurant or barbershop or medical facility or daycare, et cetera, et cetera. So from the time when I first moved here in 2002, we had one Cuban American superette, because it wasn't a supermarket or a bodega, and one Puerto Rican cafe, one Mexican restaurant, and that was it. So now we have numerous restaurants and numerous establishments all over the place, which is, it really fills me with a lot of pride for my pueblo, my gente, my culture, to have been able to build on this in this community. And part of our 15th year anniversary, since we are going to be expanding, we are building chamber chapters where we are going to select specific members of our community and of our chamber to step up to the plate and be able to run and oversee a chapter in one of these different districts within our county, because we are growing so quickly. And I guess this is it's like a magnet, right now. Polk County offers a lot, and I'm so proud to have founded this chamber and continuously run it, because no one really wants to step up. So I just urge a lot of my members to grow within and step up to the plate. And I thank you all for allowing me to speak up for you, and come to Polk County and enjoy some Colombian or Puerto Rican or Mexican or Dominican or any type of food that you'd like to eat, or any type of business that you'd like to attend. So thank you so much, Veronica, for having me today.
Thank you, Madam President Rivera. I really appreciate it. And I will take you up on some Cuban food in Polk County. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a blessed day, everyone.
Thank you. So it's time to land this plane. A few housekeeping matters. Thank you so much, Janina, Robert, Joanna. You guys did a masterful job. We appreciate it. You guys always want to know the session video, Friday, 12 noon. It will be on the Enterprise Florida YouTube channel. We will send you the link probably on Friday, maybe Monday, but look forward to that link in your email. If you want to watch it again, if you want to share it with someone, we would be ecstatic if you did that. The next session, 2 weeks from today, June 1st, same time, same back channel. Help us out and spread the word. If you guys like what you've experienced, the best compliment you can show us, as well as the speakers, is to share the information with someone else. We want to reach small business owners, minorities, business owners around the entire state. So tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. And lastly, save the date. Save the date. We are traveling to Orlando, Florida. If you want to roll with us to Orlando, the #1 topic from last year when we took the poll was access to capital. Everybody wants to talk about access to capital. So you ask, we're going to provide an all-day intensive workshop on access to capital, lenders speed dating. So that means you'll get some subject matter expertise. Of course, we've got to give you that. But the most important thing that we will offer you is quality time with at least 15 lenders. You will have the chance to speak with them, learn what the criteria is, and most importantly, establish a relationship, establish a connection. So we look forward to that. We will leave this up for several moments because I want you to have a chance to really look at it. If you need to screenshot it, share it with some other folks, save the date. We don't have the link up yet, so you can't register. If you are registered for the webinar, sessions 1 through 4, this will require a separate registration and there will be a nominal cost that goes with it. We will have that information ready at session 3. So look forward to that. You'll be able to register at that time. But for now, put it on your calendar. Get ready because we are coming to Orlando, Florida to talk about access to capital. Well, folks, we appreciate you joining us again. Thank you for allowing us to have a portion of your hump day. I will give you 16 minutes back, and we look forward to seeing you 2 weeks from now. Same time, same back channel. Have a great day.